Jaheim Bell, out of Florida State, 6'2", 241 pounds. He is not a blocker. However, with the ball in his hands, he is absolutely phenomenal. Makes people miss, runs through arm tackles for fun. Are you a Bell fan, or are you slightly concerned?
Yeah, he's a difficult prospect to evaluate because, like I say, 6'2". Historically, when you look back, there's not many 6'2" tight ends that make it in the NFL at all, really. I had to look at the list, and it was like the likes of Jordan Reed that have done fine, but there's so many misses at tight ends that are just slightly smaller than the 6'3", 6'4" threshold that a lot of teams will look at. But he's fascinating for me. I saw Jim Nagy. What did he say about him? He's the positionless player because, he's got some issues, but he's uber explosive. The yards after the catch is just great. You just want to get the ball in his hands all the time because he can outrun them linebackers with ease. He's got a really weird running technique as well. He can't really describe how he runs the ball, but it's slightly strange, but it seems to work for him. But once he's got the ball in his hands, which again, he doesn't always make it look the easiest, but he just eats up them yards. He's a dynamic runner. Once he gets in the open field, he can be gone. And then you look at the production to go with it. You can't really argue with over 500 yards of production for a tight end. When you look at the team he was on, he was only 150 yards short of Keon Coleman, which a lot of people are high on Keon Coleman this year. So I just think with Jaheim Bell, he's my tight end 4 just because I think there is a huge amount of untapped potential that could be slightly scary just because of the fact that a lot of these people where they're not the classic tight end, we don't really know what they are, but we think because they're athletic, they can be something that ultimately a lot of them don't work out in the NFL. But I think he could help out initially on, say, special teams, work his way in as a tight end too. But yeah, I'm interested in Jaheim Bell as being someone that can be a weapon on the right scheme. So it's going to take, I will say it's a bit of a long shot, and I don't really know what the draft capital's looking like for Jaheim Bell, but he's interesting to me. He really is, just because I think he's a proper weapon. If you can find a team that can get the ball in his hands, I think he can do damage and then be fantasy relevant. So yeah, I've got a slight interest in Jaheim Bell.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to wait to almost see what the NFL think of Jaheim Bell as to what I think of him, because I think that if a team spends probably day 2 draft capital on him, they're saying, right, we're drafting Bell with a plan. If he falls into probably the latter half of day 3, I think they're just saying he's a good prospect. We'll kind of see what we get with him. I think that Jaheim Bell does not fit into any type of prototype as to this is what we want from this player. You are going to have to create a role for him in your offense. If he was a wide receiver, we'd be calling him Debo or whatever. To me, he's kind of like tight end Chris Godwin. I think that, yeah, he can go and do, a decent job as a slot receiver, but actually to get the best out of Chris Godwin, you need to manufacture touches. You need him to be a centerpiece of the offense and almost build the offense around him slightly. And then you will be able to utilize some of those fantastic skills. And I kind of think that's where Jaheim Bell is that if you've got an offensive play caller who's going, right, I'm going to move him around all over the field. I'm going to give him jet sweeps. I might even line him up in the backfield. I'm going to give him plenty of screens so he can get the ball in his hands. Fantastic. Jaheim Bell can absolutely be fantasy relevant. If you just get a traditional offensive coordinator who's just going to say, right, Jaheim Bell, you're our white tight end. You've got to go and run these routes. You've got to, do this. This is the hole that we're going to try and force you into. Then I don't think Jaheim Bell is going to be fantasy relevant and have much of a role in the NFL, because I don't think he is a good enough route runner. I don't think he's, I've got questions over his hands. I've got serious questions over his ability to block. And I don't think he can be kind of that pigeonholed tight end. I think he needs the freedom to just be Jaheim Bell, not be a tight end. So, yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to assess like if a team's going to use him correctly. Maybe it's just going to be I need to watch some training camp stuff and hear what's being written about guys during training camp, and maybe I can not draft him but buy into the hype then, because I'm concerned that he could be a nothing if we try to force him into a square peg in a round hole as such. We are ever so close to 1,800 subscribers. If you are watching this and you've not hit that subscribe button, do us a favor. We've got rookie profiles dropping daily, and we have got best ball season just around the corner, so you're not going to want to miss any of that.